Welcome to Type-C Tech Reviews. Today we're going to be unboxing the Asus PG27AQDP. If at any point during the video you want to check out this exact same monitor, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links, but let's get this thing unboxed. Guys, this is using a W-OLED manufactured by LG. This hits a refresh rate of a whopping 480 hertz. A very interesting unboxing style here. Look at that. Foam on the bottom, some cardboard on the top. Let's see what's in here. I believe this is like the last Asus that we just did, the QD OLED. We just reviewed that. This is the vase mount. So those are your vase mount screws, 100mm by 100mm. They have a little logo there, which is funny, but this clips in to the back, the lock-in stand, or at least I believe it does if it's like the other one, but that's a pretty cool thing. The stand here looks like, I believe it's gonna be one of those that actually glows and lights up, but not just glows, it's gonna, I think, glow and like shoot a holograph onto the, or is it a hologram? But it's gonna shoot it onto the desk, so that should be pretty cool. Now, the price on this puppy is not cheap. This is coming in at $999.99. And by that, I do not mean $10,000. Let's get these plastic off of here. So it looks like that's gonna be the section to glow. It's kind of glossy, but it looks like maybe there's an RGB element, or maybe that's just gonna glow from a light above because I don't see any like connecting points or anywhere to plug anything in. But the overall quality of this is really good. This is just solid metal. There's no finish on it. I mean, obviously it's painted, but it's literally just a piece of metal. And then this black ring right here that attaches to everything, that's metal as well. And then the only thing that's plastic is just these little, looks like RGB elements. Looks like that's gonna glow. But yeah, really high quality, feels great. This is the top half of the stand. Ooh, nice and hefty. I wasn't super impressed with the last stand on that QD OLED, but this one is in a higher price point for sure. And yeah, you can see there, those are the little pins right here to get the RGB from the monitor itself. They still have that rubber with the mounting screw up there, so you can put a light, you can put a camera up there. That's actually pretty cool if you are a creator. On back, look at how cool this stand looks. Definitely a higher tier of quality from Asus. Yeah, that looks really nice. That's glossy. I mean, how many times you're gonna see the back of your monitor, but still, it looks really cool. It says Swift. It looks like it might light up. The only thing that I don't like right away, maybe I'll be wrong about this, but I don't think so, that is a lot of open space, very low for cable management. That's not the best. I mean, I guess they had to do it because yeah, the stand goes really low. However, I'm willing to bet that cables are gonna show, which they did on the last Asus monitor. All right, let's put these together. Look at that interesting setup right there, and it looks like we got just one LED right there. Huh, isn't that interesting? That must be a very bright LED. So sticking those together, and check this out. They have one of those low quality thumb screws. If you guys watch me for a while, you hear me say they have a high quality thumb screw. And I say that specifically, high quality thumb screw, so that you can just use your fingers to screw it in. Yeah, this is the low quality one. That's why I say high quality. That's weird. It's not a big deal. That's totally a nitpick, but that is the reason I say high quality. The reason is these things will hurt the heck out of your fingers, and it does not give you enough grip to actually screw these in tightly enough, so you have to end up using a screwdriver. Otherwise, it will kind of like wiggle a little bit. So grab yourself a little screwdriver and just tighten it the rest of the way. With that all done, this is a very pretty stand, and it's quite heavy as well. I like that. Still worried about the cable management, but what are you gonna do? Also in the box, we've got this. Was I supposed to put this in first? Well, that is definitely something. Does that go? Oh, I see. It snaps in the bottom like that. Very cool. See, it's on magnets. That finishes off the look. Yes, it does. That looks nice. That looks even better now. All right, also we have a little bag. Let's open this up. I think it's probably just gonna be cables. So in here we've got a USB Type B to USB Type A. We have a DisplayPort, an HDMI 2.1, a little cleaning cloth because it's an OLED, a little thing of silica gel, and then what is this? Oh, this is gonna be what goes on the bottom. And by what goes on the bottom, I mean what goes right there. That's probably why this is magnetic. All right, let's check this out really quick. I'm gonna prop this up here, and these are little gobos, which basically should filter light. Do these have something over them? All right, so check that out. They got a little plastic, I think over both sides. So that's the Asus Republic of Gamers one. And I believe you pop this off and then Drop that little sucker. Oh, it has a definite spot. They don't want you to put it angled. It has like a little notch in there so that you cannot accidentally put it at the wrong angle. All right, so that goes in there like that. It kind of snaps in a little bit. See, like that, it snaps in. All right, and then it only has one way that the magnet's like, see, it can't go that way, and it can't go this way. It goes this way only, and then it'll shine down as like a little gobo, which is pretty cool. Let's see what the other ones are though. There's 3 others. Are these ones that you can just make your own design? Yeah, clear one, okay. Is that really what that is? That's really, really cool. If that, yep, another clear one. Yeah, looks like they're all gonna be clear, so maybe you can, I don't know what you would use though. Maybe paper? No, but that's honestly really cool. I like that. I've obviously seen this before, but I don't know if I've ever tested a monitor. I don't know if I've ever tested a monitor with one of those like shiny down things. Also in the box, we've got some manuals and some stickers. So if you want to ROG-ify your room or chair or something, then we've got the power brick. So this does not have an internal power supply, but honestly, a smaller brick than I would have expected, but a weird feeling brick. Like this does not come out, but it's like, okay, that's a little strange. What I do like is how pretty this is. That's a pretty brick right there. It's got a little bit of 150 watt on there. It's not too heavy. It should be fairly easy to cable manage. Well, what do we have here? I am in America, so I'm gonna have to go find a different one of these so that we can plug it in. This won't happen to you. I think our Asus rep sent this over by accident. No hate at all to Asus rep. We love you. Thank you for sending them over. Sorry for negatively reviewing a few of your monitors in the past, but I'm gonna find this. We'll be right back. Now that I found a replacement cable, let's go ahead and get to the monitor itself, shall we? The moment of truth. This is a 27-inch panel, a cool back, because Asus always does cool backs here. This is a lock-in stand. First, let me show you. This is the face mount. So you just line those up on the top like that, press them in. That's how you take it out. Super easy, just like that. I absolutely love that. But then, now the stand. Line up the top, press it in, and we're good. Shall we do the big reveal? And that is how she looks. That is a very thin panel. Check that out. Yep, that looks pretty cool. All right, let's get this on the desk. I will say though, for a 27-inch panel, those are some wide feet. Holy, they're almost wider than the panel itself. That's kind of crazy, to be honest with you. That's a little too much. I mean, guys, check that out. I mean, that's like, that takes up a stupid amount of space. However, it's very stable and the metal does feel very nice. Let's get to the back of this though and check out these ports first. We got one display port here, 2 HDMIs, that's where our power goes in. We've then got a USB Type-B upstream, 2 USB Type-A downstreams right there, and then a 3.5mm audio jack. Then we've got obviously our controllers on and off switch, and then we've got, what is going on there? So the more expensive stand, did I put this on wrong? Maybe I put this on wrong. We're gonna give it the benefit of the doubt there. Nope. You guys see what's happening here? On the lock-in stand, if you come close, it has an enormous amount of play. Well, that's not good. Comparing this stand to the last monitor, which was the XG27AQDP, which is a QD OLED, this is the W-OLED, Samsung versus LG essentially. This part of the stand is much nicer, but then what the heck is going on there? Whatever. All right, let's continue on peeling this back. That looks really good, just like the last one. But then this back, I think, is gonna be all glossy. I think, is this the pull tab? Or no, this is the pull tab. There it is. You guys ready? Pulling this back. You see how much it plays when I, oh no. That is a tough pull right there. Oh, that's not easy. It like, because this part dips down so low. I think you were supposed to do it in sections. That's why they did that. Oh, I thought it was gonna be glossy on the back. It's not, it's just matte. Okay, well, I guess that's still cool. It is really cool how thin it is. It looks like it's thinner than the QD OLED panel. Honestly, I can't tell. This is obviously still metal back here. It left quite a bit of goop there. That's a little weird. I know this is the more premium monitor, but I think the clear backing actually looks worse than the other one, because this is basically the same backing. It looks like it's this, no it's not, okay. It looks like the same thing, but this type of cooling is completely different. We do have an opening up here, but there's no cooling right here. That's completely closed. That's not like the other one. Is there cooling on the bottom? There's little vents right here. Maybe it doesn't need as much cooling. I don't know. There's little vents on that side. And even on top, there's none except this little thing. So that's quite interesting. Not even close to as much cooling. I don't really like the clear as much. I love this part. I think this looks great. This was on the XG27 as well, but I don't know. The clear just looks strange to me. And this, okay, I'm not gonna talk about that anymore. But now for the front peel, they have the little specs over here. They have the like AI assistant thing, so it should do some like in-game cheating or stuff like that. So we'll maybe try that out, probably in the review though. HDMI 2.1, we got HDR of course, anti-flicker. I have heard some things. I'm a little bit late to reviewing this. I have heard some stuff about flickering, so we will be testing that in the review. 99% DCI-P3 is pretty normal stuff here. 480 Hertz is the big thing with this monitor. Let's do the peel and let's take that sticker off. Now that was satisfying. Now what I absolutely love about these Asuses is this little bump out here. Not only is it really cool and feels premium to have your light up logo. Wait, does this one light up? It looks like a mirror finish. Please tell me that lights up. But regardless, having the controls on the back of this is like super easy because you can literally grab it like that. It's a very, very clever invention. Simple, but highly effective. With that, we're gonna do the stand. This is very thin to grab. I don't like that. Makes me feel like it's gonna break. But height, pretty decent, not all the way down. Great tallest height though. Nice swivel, full rotation. Yep, that's nice and smooth. It's kind of firm, but smooth in a way. And then tilt, how is the tilt? Yeah, ooh, the down is pretty nice. With that, I must say my OCD really hates this stand in terms of not its build, not its look, but the fact that because it's asymmetrical, I'm not sure where is like even. And that really bugs me. However, I absolutely love the way it looks and I'm very excited for that hologram. I am taking back one of the things I said during the unboxing. So I actually think the design of this stand is pretty decent, specifically for cable management. Here's why. I'll turn this sideways so we can see. Now we remember this has like a little pass-through, but it has it on the top and the bottom. So if you don't have your monitor all the way up, well, instead of putting the cables through here, and yes, you will have to be careful not to, well, smash your cables, but if you do that, then bazinga. That's a pretty nice design. With everything plugged in now, yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty decent. I don't know if that was intended to be that way, but it works well. Let's get it on the test, do an initial impressions gaming test and a ghosting test. Remember, full review with all test results will be coming in a few days, so subscribe below for that. All right, now turning on the monitor with the button. There we go, Gamers Republic. And here it is up on the screen. Now the one thing I'm noticing, I don't think I noticed this on the other W-OLEDs I have and have used. I have these strange little dots on the bottom. If anyone can tell me what the heck those are, it looks very weird. It's only on the bottom. Super strange, whatever. Let's go right into the menu system here. Why is everything grayed out? Are we in, we must be in HDR. We are probably in HDR. Well, that's weird. Yeah, HDR is off here. Why the heck is everything grayed out? Don't tell me they're gonna force me to download the thing. Do we have to be in performance mode? Let's put it in performance mode. Yes, I want more power consumption. It got a little bit brighter immediately. You can't change settings without taking it out of power saving mode. That's a little funny. Okay, whatever. I just did a video on the XG27AQDP. Again, QD OLED, but this menu system was the reason that it was so amazing. Now you guys know, I'm not a big fan of the matte finishes on these LG panels, and I haven't really tested this one yet. It does have a matte finish. We'll get to that. I'm not gonna go crazy with it. However, this menu system is amazing, and it looks like with this one it's the same thing. You have so many settings to change and control. But first, excuse me, that looks freaking awesome. Look at that, that looks so good. It's way brighter than I expected. This is a very bright room right now, and that's very, very bright. I like that a lot. I think it looks excellent. Can I change the color? Well, let me change the color. Is that the power indicator? No, that's this, yeah. Okay, here's a weird thing. I just reviewed the other Asus monitor, same thing here. This one has like a stupid bright spot. This part up there is bright and then the rest of it's dim, which looks so cheap. That blows me away. I don't understand. Make that make sense. I just reviewed the other one. This is a brand new monitor. It just came out. The other one just came out, but this one has a dim spot. The other one looked phenomenal. that's just strange. It's just strange little things about Asus sometimes, I guess. Okay, so let's go. There's like an AI assistant, AI shadow boost, AI sniper, MOBA map helper. We have VRR on. I thought this was a second menu system. It's just telling you the support. So it's got G-Sync, FreeSync, and just straight adaptive sync. We have FPS counters, things like that, display alignment, stopwatch, a lot of stuff here. I do like that they have different bar graphs and stuff. That's what I said. Asus has so many different little menu system things. It's really, really quite cool. All right, the game visuals, I think, are just the picture mode. So scenery mode, holy heck, that way oversaturates everything, but it kind of looks epic because it's an OLED. Racing mode, cinema mode, that again oversaturates everything. RTS, FPS. FPS looks awful. I think it's for the shadow boost though. I think that's what it was. But some of these, as you can see, gray out everything. sRGB cal mode, I guess it's calibrated. MOBA mode, what in the heck? Is that just how it's supposed to be? Night vision, and then user mode. We're just gonna put it in user for right now. We have shadow boost, which we're gonna keep off, and then the Asus Center, you can like download it probably with that. Going into image, brightness, we're gonna turn it all the way up. Definitely gets a little bit brighter. We have uniform brightness toggle, which we're gonna try, and it makes the whole screen significantly darker. Contrast at 80, we're gonna leave it there. I don't know why the anti-flicker is off. Maybe some settings need to be off. The Vivid Pixel, let's go ahead and test that now with Vivid Pixel. I can tell you right away, I've gone over this 1,000 times, the W-OLEDs have much worse text clarity than compared to the QD-OLED, especially the Gen 3 panels. Small text is just, it's not as good. That would bug me as an owner. Let's see what the Vivid Pixel does though. It did a decent amount on the QD OLED, but the QD OLED was already very good. So, all right, so text clarity here is not super great. You can definitely see the green and the red, but they're on like opposite sides, whereas the QD OLEDs are kind of like on the same side. So it makes it even harder to see. But let's go into the Vivid Pixel and see what that does. It's at 50 right now, so let's put it at 0. Just makes it very, very blurry. I think 50 is kind of more like the baseline. But then turning it up from that makes small text significantly worse. I don't know if you can see, you can vividly see the green and the pink or magenta, it's red hue, bending out. That's awful. At like 60 and 70, 70 is too much. I would say 50 and 60 is probably good. We're just gonna leave it at 50 for now. Yeah, text clarity is not as good. I know there's a lot of things that you can do to adjust that. We are on Windows 11. But let's keep going through this. We're gonna keep it on wide gamut there. We have color temperature. I'm gonna set it to 6,500 Kelvin, see if it just visually looks right. Yeah, looks pretty good. We're gonna keep that on 6,500 Kelvins. Saturation looks good already, it's very saturated. So we're gonna keep that at 50. We have 6-axis, we have gamma. Let's go over to OLED Care, because here's what did some pretty cool things before. We're gonna go into auto logo brightness, because before, yep, and it does the same thing here. It increases the brightness by a pretty good amount. Now on the XG27, the QD OLED, the auto logo brightness significantly, like almost 100 nits, maybe it was 65 nits. It's a lot. It did a lot more brightness. Here, definitely doing it, but not quite to that extent. But we're definitely gonna keep that off because that does a lot. Now on this one, outer dimming control also increases the brightness, obviously at the outer edges, but pretty substantially. I'm gonna keep that on. I'm gonna keep that off, I mean. And then local dimming control. What it did for me was the ABL is really the thing. All right, so we're gonna pull this up, take it away, and the screen gets brighter. So the ABL here, and then we're gonna try turning local dimming control off. All right, turning it off. Maybe it made a tiny change. It's really, honestly, probably imperceivable. Not quite as big of a difference on the other one. Still gonna leave it off though. Going down to, we have your inputs. We have Aura Sync. Oh, that's the back one. Is it light in motion here then? Oh, so that's the bottom one, I guess. So you have level 2, which is what it was at. Level 3 makes it even brighter. Get out of town. That's really cool. I like that. Although I wish you could change the color. It's only red, which I guess makes sense. But everything else, we have like sound, USB hub, power indicator, which is that thing. Power settings, I already set in performance mode. You gotta set it in performance mode. And that's pretty much it. Let's actually get this now running full refresh rate, because it is in 60 Hertz right now. We're at 2560 by 1440p. And then we're gonna turn this all the way to 480 Hertz. See if we can output 10 bits of color, and we can. And there we go. It is really annoying because I daily a QD OLED Gen 3. It's the 32-inch 4K model from Alienware. It is so not fun going back to a W-OLED with that text clarity, especially with small text. It's just, I don't love it. The other thing is, this has a pretty aggressive matte finish that causes this dirty screen effect, which is really annoying. It's just like things are covering everything. If they just took away the matte finish, this would be so much of a better panel. You guys know I've talked about that so many times. All right, but now let's hop in game. All right, guys, jumping into the prettiest map on Black Ops 6. Again, you saw the settings I'm used, basically stock settings without even adjusting anything really. Right away, first initial impressions, again, just used the XG27. It's still pretty, okay? The colors still look good. It just doesn't have the depth. It feels very flat. Obviously, I do have the settings in the lowest so that we can get the highest amount of, obviously, frames. So I just put it in extreme quality so it looks the best, and still, it's very flat. You still do notice the dirty screen effect on the white in-game, and typically, even with monitors that have matte finishes, you won't notice it in-game. It won't have the same clarity, obviously, but typically you won't notice it in-game, and here, we literally notice it in-game. And by that, I mean, it's so apparent that you see it in the clouds. Now, it might not be as apparent. I'm not sure. It might be a little bit better than previously. I'd have to pull that monitor out, but definitely up here, you can easily see it. All right, but I'm gonna drop it back down to the lowest quality so that we get maximum frames. And I know that I'm probably not getting 480 Hertz, but does feel nice and fast. And I think really that's the point of this monitor. If you're getting it, I think the 480 Hertz having obviously no ghosting here, or basically no ghosting, doesn't make as big of a difference as you would think, but it still is, you know, pretty much as good as you're gonna get without doing some sort of ultra low motion blur type thing. Yeah, it games very well. You guys know this. I like gaming, but I also like prettiness. And I feel like if I'm getting an OLED, I want it to be very pretty. And this one it still is. The colors still look good. It just looks not quite as good. No, I wouldn't say not quite as good. It doesn't even look close to as good. You still get the deep blacks, like in here, you still get like deep blacks and everything. But matte finishes don't just make the dirty screen effect. This is what everyone talks about. They also decrease contrast ratio, visual contrast ratio. In test results, it won't be that different. It'll be a minor difference, but to your eyes, it's a significant difference. And so that's what I'm talking about. It can't strictly just be tested. It's still nice and fast though. I definitely really like this monitor still for sure. And I think of all the QD OLEDs, I like this one the best because of the 480 Hertz obviously. And 1440p makes sense for this obviously because you're actually gonna be able to hit 500 Hertz with, you know, like a 4090. And I should really be testing this with the PC in my office so that I can actually hit 480 Hertz, but that's what I'll do for the review. Now, the thing that I don't like about this, and this is what it's been pretty much every time, is value. If I'm buying an OLED, I want beauty. This one doesn't bring it, especially for the price point, right? So it does bring it. It's still, you know, nice and vibrant colors, not as good. Let's actually switch in game a little bit when compared to the QD OLED that we just tested, which is a few $100s cheaper than this. We're just gonna go into one of their presets. We're gonna go up into, what about racing mode? That's what it came in. That looks pretty awful, to be honest with you. That's way the heck oversaturated. Holy smokes. That one does not look good either. And this is just weird. That was the same thing with the Asus though, the other Asus, the XG. It just looks weird. Racing mode looks the most natural, but it's undersaturated. I think user mode, maybe bump the saturation up like 4 clicks, maybe 3 clicks. Still, I don't know, the colors, they don't pop out. The clarity isn't there because of the matte finish. So the value here, this is $999.99. You're spending $1,000 for 480 Hertz. To me, it's not worth it. To you, it might be worth it. However, I'm not a speed over everything. I'm like I want beauty and I want enough speed. If it's doing 240 Hertz, I'm happy. After that point, you know, I'm definitely going for something else. I'm going for beauty. I'm going for higher resolution. I'm going for maybe a slight curve, maybe an ultra wide. If they do a 38-inch QD OLED ultra wide, bro, I'm busting. But this is still good. And I think if you can get this for under $1,000, it probably makes a lot more sense. But keep in mind that the point of this monitor would be basically 500 Hertz and having really, really low ghosting. And that's pretty much it to me. At least because there's not enough value built into a $1,000 price point. So with the ghosting test up there, checking it out, it is absolutely perfect. Let me take the camera so I can show you what I'm seeing, and that is what I'm seeing, which is absolutely perfect, and that's exactly what this monitor is for. And I think that if you're doing that, it's probably a good value Again, if you can maybe get it just a little bit under $1,000. But if it's speed that you're looking for, well, it's 480 hertz and it's an OLED. Really, to me, you're losing out on any sort of productivity or professional use or creative use. So if you want to use this to edit videos, I would say probably not. Photo editing, neither that, and productivity suffers when compared to, $200 monitors. And the reason because of that is when you go out of something like this and you're typing something in, like you're going to YouTube, the whole screen has a dirty screen effect on white, and it looks worse than $200 monitors. Literally looks worse than LG's own $200 monitors. I just did a review of a VA panel that I absolutely loved and it shocked me. So this looks worse. And then when you start typing things in, and the text clarity here is significantly worse. Again, not than another OLED, just normal IPS, VA, any of them. This is worse with the dirty screen effect. That's some of the worst. It might be better, but especially when you're on a white screen, it just is awful. I personally couldn't live with that, but if you're just gonna be gaming and you just want it for speed, if you're doing CSGO, if you're gonna be able to hit 480 frames, if you're not gonna be able to hit 480 frames, don't get this monitor. There's no point. Get the Asus ROG XG27AQDP, but that's the Samsung manufactured panel. You're getting 360 hertz, glossy finish, much more beautiful. You can use that for professional video editing, things like that. But of all these WOLEDs, I think this is probably my favorite, although I really do want to try the one with resolution having. But again, if you want to check this one out, there are Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. I will be doing a review coming in a few days, so subscribe below for that. But these are Type-C Tech Reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next video.